So Cahoots, we're new. 2025 was the year that we built the space, and we did fundraising and we got established, and we opened in the middle of September. In trade spaces, in technical spaces, the number of women is very low, and so we have trade pathway connections. We're supported by New Zealand's Engineering Foundation, Engineering New Zealand, the industry body for engineers. We're also working with some of the trade training organizations to offer pathways into trade careers. The reasons that we don't have many women in these positions are cultural, are social, and so to change one, we kind of have to change the other, and so we change both at the same time. We increase the number of women who are doing DIY, around their house, and also doing maybe woodwork as a hobby. And so there's that very formal pathway that some of our members go on in terms of starting careers. But there's also just the empowerment that comes from learning these hands-on and practical skills and being able to make things. And well, what I always say is it's very empowering to be able to shape the world around you. So, when you can look around you and see how the world is put together, and you can have an effect on that. And that's something that women and trans folks tend to not have, because it's something they've been shut off from. So the free trial, I was just like, well, I'll get in, I'll have a look, and if it works, and it was, and then once I had set up the free trial, it was so easy and quick, and just did what I needed it to do without struggle. And Nest and Cut did that really easily, because it's got this kind of the sort of stepwise process. You put your parts, sheets, cuts, and then obviously you can fiddle with parameters. And I haven't come across anything that we can't do yet. Definitely. We're already teaching so many things. If we're teaching for the plasma cutter, we're teaching the safety, and we're teaching the machine itself, the physical machine, and we're teaching all of that setup. And then often, because people are coming in with maybe no skills, we're teaching the CAD that produces the parts. And so for a step that again, like, should be simple, I think, having it actually be simple is a real time saver. So at the moment, it has been, raising enough money to keep it operating. So we charge for some of the classes that we deliver, things like that. But we also deliver classes to low-income folks, and there is, we have a whole lot of potential income streams. We do diversity education into industry, so we go and talk to sites, so that when folks who've learned some things with us go to do an apprenticeship, we've sort of met in the middle. We teach classes that are funded by external funders, so somebody funds us to deliver a class to low-income folks. And so we have these different revenue streams, but realistically, operating the space like that, doing maintenance, keeping it safe, doing all of the back-end work, doing all the grant applications, all of that admin is unfunded largely through those things. And so getting enough philanthropic funding to keep us running has been kind of the core focus. And realistically, if we I always say that our dream is to see in sort of 50 years time or something, the vision is that we will see a space within construction, within trades, within technical fields that is not so dominated by men. And if we're serious about that, then the only way to do it is to have more than just one workshop that we've got. We need to have them in different cities, and we need to be able to reach, because we're talking about big cultural change. So some kind of expansion. We have a thing in New Zealand called Men's Shed, which is a set of workshops that people have, that there are around the country, that are for men, because they're called men's sheds, and they do woodwork and things. And there are 124 of those in New Zealand, and so I always use that number as the kind of like, well, that's how many of these that we need. It's like your objective. That's my target, is 124, which seems maybe a little bit adventurous, but check in 20 years.